Hello and welcome to the third of the lockdown diaries that I've been doing this week. And obviously for those of you that have just tuned into these, nice to have you aboard, nice to have your support. I've actually got a topic to start today's video, thanks to the comments from yesterday. I was asked to put some comments in about how I think this lockdown affects relationships and marriages. So, this is my take on the whole thing. Obviously, every marriage, of course, is different, and as we know, these are, to coin a phrase that's been used very often, an unprecedented time. You are going to have situations where you're going to have key workers as a marriage. So one, say, working as a nursery nurse, one working as a policeman. Or you could have two people who have been furloughed, and that basically means that they're being kept on the payroll, being paid 80% of their wages until such time that the company gets back and running. So obviously one of the main problems with that is, of course, stresses about money. Now, money causes a lot of stress at the best of times. And, you know, whether you're a very good saver or you struggle to make ends meet, you know, it does happen. Everybody struggles from time to time. I don't think any contingency plan in the world, if you had thought to yourself at the start of the year, I better keep a month's money aside because we might end up being stuck at home, you know, that sort of conversation was unthinkable probably a month ago. But we are where we are. So it's all about trying to manage the situation. Now, lots of people come up with different tips about marriages, and one of them I hear very often is never go to bed on an argument. Now, that I think is specifically useful because, particularly in times where you're going to be under each other's feet 24/7, you know, whereas, you know, in the normal scheme of things, you'd be out from, say, 9 in the morning to 5 at the night, so you then just catch up in the evening over your tea and all the rest of it. Now you're kind of having to deal with everything at home, and also deal with children, and of course they're going to get under your feet and they're going to cause arguments because you may disagree or agree on how best to school them or what task to set them, or, you know, should we give them lots of chores or should we have lots of fun. You know, you're going to have stresses about that anyway, but especially with key workers. Now, I briefly mentioned on the first video a brief list of key workers, but I'll just list some of them out. So I said NHS doctors. Of course, you can include NHS nurses. You've got to include your doctors at your GP, your supermarket servers, you know, the people at the checkout who are serving customers. Obviously, the managers overseeing the supermarkets, and of course, with lots of people working from home, and, you know, you'll get the odd day where, you know, something will happen at work that'll stress you out and all the rest of it, and normally you can forget about it at work and then take it home. The trouble is, if something stresses you out at work and you're at home, it's then going to have a knock-on effect, because then that's going to cause a problem. Because then all of a sudden, you know, your partner is having to deal with that stress, plus the stress of their own work, if they've got anything at the moment, or the fact that they can't actually do anything, or if you're, you know, stuck in self-isolation, you know, not being able to do anything at all, other than sort of come out your room for 5 minutes to pick up your dinner plate or whatever, or just leave your dinner plate outside, or however you want to handle it. And of course, the toughest ones of all would be the ones that lose relatives throughout this, because that will add an increasing strain to an already delicate situation. As I said yesterday, one of the most important things I think in this whole thing is just to talk to people, and not meaning to sound like a broken record, but talking counts. Even if you are disagreeing about something, because there is no doubt that this whole situation is putting immense strain on people. And people may act out of character. If you've been cooped up inside or whatever for the best part of 2 or 3 weeks, and you've not actually gone out and got your hours exercise. I mean, I'll be honest with you, the last time I left the house was probably nearly 2 weeks ago. And you're almost getting to the point where you're going doolally. So, as I say, talking helps. And I hope that that's given some sort of explanation to the question was raised, and I'm really happy that questions were raised. So thank you everybody who gave me questions and all the rest of it. And as I say, I'm opened up to more questions. So if there's another topic you want me to discuss tomorrow or whatever, just like, subscribe, comment, let me know, and I'll do what I can to answer the question for you. So we will do this again tomorrow, and until tomorrow, stay safe and stay at home.